Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome to a new Steel Division 2 cast. Today we have the other semi-final in the Steel Division League Season 2 Division 2 playoffs. Ghaspar versus Jack. And if you didn't watch the previous semi-final, make sure you go back, check out the games between Sahandor and Unique. So if you do want to watch those games, make sure you go now, because there are going to be spoilers any moment from here onwards. Right, let's have a look. Semi-final. So Sahandor did win out 2-0 against Unique, and this is the second one, Jack versus Ghaspar. Jack was seeded through to the semi-final, coming top of his group, and Ghaspar did manage to beat Metal Phase 2-1 to make it through to the semi-finals. Who will go through and face off against Sahandor? Let's have a look at the two decks today. So Ghaspar, let me just check. Yes, he is on the left hand side in blue, playing the 3rd Guard Mechanized Core on Flatline Income. So what's he going to have at his disposal as well? We can see plenty of Shermans. Plenty of Shermans in the 3rd Guard's Tank Core, and Shermans, or the 3rd Guard's Mechanized Core, sorry. There are also plenty of tanks in the 3rd Guard's Tank Core, but we're in the Mechanized Core. And Shermans are fantastic close quarters infantry support tanks. Really good. He's going to have Partisanis in A. They have the Molotov cocktails, and up until now, you know, they've been kind of really good units, but since the Fate of Finland, the Finnish have come in, they've got tons more Molotov cocktails than the Partisani have, so kind of beat them in that way. But yeah, Partisani, fantastic units. So we'll look to see those being used early after Machiki's in B and C. So Ghaspar's going to try and take hold of the flanks, I feel like, from looking at this deck. With those after Machiki and Partisani. That's probably what I would bet with the 3rd Guard's Tank Core as well. He does have the ZIS-2 guns, 6 in B and 9 in C, so he's got a lot of anti-tank capability late on into this game. And plenty of IL-4s and Lag-3s as well. Let's have a look at Jack. He is on the right hand side in red. He's playing the 184th Strelkovy. I think this is the first time we're casting Jack on the channel, so welcome to the channel, Jack. I did do a General's Lounge podcast with him the other week, so it is nice to be able to cast his game. I'm pretty sure this is the first game we're casting off Jack. He's a fantastic player, a newcomer to the competitive scene. I don't know whether he's been playing a lot of Steel Division 2, but he is very much plays with Nilla, and from what you've seen, you'll know how good Nilla is. So Jack, I think, you know, maybe just as good as Nilla. We'll have to find out. It's going to be a big test for him today up against Ghaspar. So his deck, the 184th Strelkovy. They have a lot of good infantry, 118 units. The Strelky DP is very good. After Machiki's, again, they're going to be good, and Tankos are better than Partisani. So actually, after Machiki and Tanko Desaniki definitely can take on those Partisanis, and after Machiki on the other side. So I think Jack will be okay fighting on the flanks as well in those forested areas on the very north and south of this map. The game has just started. We're just going to continue covering the deck. Lots of Valentine 9s. I think they're going to be key to use against the Shermans, but they are very slow to get onto the field. It does have the ISU 122s. They're going to be the big boys of this matchup, and they could take some devastating positions on ridge lines, depending on how Jack plays this game. Yeah, I think 184th against 3rd Guard's Mech. It's going to be a tight game for either player. We'll have to see how this one goes. Let's head into the matchup. Recap: on the left-hand side in blue, we have Ghaspar playing the 3rd Guard's Mechanized Core on Flatline Income. Pretty standard deployment, going quite aggressive in that central area. Jack on the right hand side in red, playing flatline income with the 184th Strelkovi. And looks like he's concentrating north and south, which is what I'd expect. Some initial smoke being thrown in by Jack with the 82mm mortars. I don't know whether that's a diversion because he's got a lot of troops going into the south. It's not really brought him as much advantage as maybe he expects there. Lag 3 series coming in to hit possibly a half track. Oh, actually almost takes out the Avto Komroti. The north is fairly relaxed right now, so all the micro going into the south from both players. I think this smoke has signalled a big attack. Oh, Jack is now pushing forwards into the smoke with Tanko Thessaloniki and Strelky DPs. Very much of the playstyle of Nilot. Lots of infantry attacks with smoke. That's kind of what I'm expecting since they play together a hell of a lot. So, oh, more smoke heading into the field. Going to try and cover the advance of the infantry, I think from that Emcha down there, the Sherman. But no micro elsewhere on the map, so both players are trying to battle in this southern side to see who wins. And this could be quite key early on. The Shermans are pushing forwards. Oh, the Strelky are pinned down. And I think the Shermans, it depends how this Strelky does. If this Strelky survives, it may well throw an AT grenade. No, it just does go down there. So I think the Shermans could win out in this position. There's no other major AT. We do have an anti-tank rifle, but since the Fate of Finland changes, AT rifles have, you know, started to struggle. Let's have a look at the side and rear armor of the Sherman. Yeah, I mean, the side and rear armor is still more than an anti-tank rifle can penetrate. So, Jack's going to struggle on the south. I think he is starting to lose the position, which is why we see attacks coming in up north. Ghaspar is in a lot more trouble up here, but again, the Sherman is going to be key to him holding this northern position. Jack does look to push through the woods either side of these north and southern flanks, but I think he's lost out in this early engagement to Ghaspar. I think those Shermans have been key early on. This one is actually focused on the reinforcement point as well, so Jack could struggle to get reinforcements into this southern side. Looks like the Ogmachiki will go down. Jack does pick up a big advantage in the north, but we do have reinforcements coming in from Ghaspar. In the south, we have the first ISU 122 coming in. That's really going to help him out against those Shermans. Oh, and one did go down to the close range AT grenade of the Strelky infantry unit there. So Jack did manage to defeat that Sherman. He has been surrounded on the south. We are at a 12-12, and actually Ghaspar should pick up a 13-11 once that flag changes hands. Wow, a supply truck in already from Jack. I don't know whether that came in with his initial forces, but it is going to resupply his mortars immediately. And he's smoking off. Oh, is that a Tanko leader there? He is smoking off that Sherman. I think he's trying to get right up close to it with the anti-tank rifle of that Strelky DP. But I don't think he's going to do it. Even with a side or rear shot, that thing shouldn't really penetrate, or it should really struggle to penetrate. Reinforcements for both sides are coming to the northern position. I think it's going to be key when this ISU rears its head on the southern side. Because the M5s, I mean, they are outmatched by the Sherman. Okay, the first one looks like it is going to now start to fire on those Partisani Komroti. Oh no! It did see the Sherman and takes it down with that first hit. I thought it was firing against the Komroti because it doesn't look like it had line of sight, but it definitely did, and that Sherman goes down. So, big first hit for Jack with that ISU. And the Shermans have gone down in this southern side. Will the M5s be able to get their fire support on target? We do have another Sherman heading in. Will the ISU be able to clean that one up as well? We'll have to see how it goes. And constant mortar fire on this southern side as well. Jack's definitely targeting the south, trying to get ahead here. Ghaspar, it feels like, is very much reacting to Jack's moves. We do have a lag 3 series in there dropping the bombs, but Jack picks up the flag and actually should reconnect the front line with these Ogmachikis here. Take this second flag as well. Especially as the M5s are going all the way round there. The ISU is pushing forwards. Is going to take up position, just aiming straight down that road, and there isn't much that Ghaspar has to penetrate that ISU. He's pushing the Sherman immediately forwards. For some reason, yeah, the ISU can't spot that Sherman yet. There is just a ridge here that he's just gone up against. I mean, the Sherman's definitely going to get the first shot off, but at that range, yeah, doesn't penetrate, and the ISU just takes it out with one shot. IL-4 coming in for Jack, targeting the central compound. And actually, once this IL-4 drops its payload, as long as it doesn't suppress the Strelky, it should be okay here. Oh, it's going to be close. Yeah, he will be okay and should pick up the surrender onto the other Ogmachiki as well once that hops into the building. Ooh, decides not to hop it into that building, so just going to sit it right behind. Interesting. Down on the southern side now, we see a lot of units pouring in for Jack. 14-10 to Jack right now. 31 minutes left on the clock. The northern side, Ghaspar still has the Shermans up here that can defeat this northern side, but we do have an M42 gun in right now, and those Shermans are heading right for it. First shot with those APCR shells misses. Ooh, but the Shermans are concentrating on the AT rifle. I don't think they see the AT gun yet. Third shot, driver knocked down. He's got one more APCR shell. Does not take it out. The Sherman advances up onto the hill, picks up the M5 kill. Ghaspar still hasn't seen that AT gun. Oh, I think he does now see it. So the tanks do now see the AT gun, and that should take it down very quickly. And with that, Ghaspar should start to recover this northern side. In comes an M3S Comrotti, but those Shermans are going to be key. The ISU has held them at bay on the southern side, with his transmission damage by the M42 gun down here. Shoot a knockout as well. We'll give that M42 gun chance to use all of its APCR. It's only got one APCR shot remaining though, and it shouldn't penetrate with its normal AP rounds. I don't think it has enough penetration to get the kill, and down it goes. In comes a bomber as well, I imagine, to target that ISU, although does hit the infantry just in front of it. Oh, we do have a Guardia Panzerschreck pushing through, but I think it's going to get discovered by that Tanko de Saniki. It's going to be really close. Oh yeah, it is moving right up there as well, so that Guardia Panzerschreck is going to go down. Oh, that could have been a big move. There is another one coming in here. He's using this to try and hit that ISU, so he might be able to do that with this southern one here before it gets spotted, especially if that ISU continues to move forwards. This could be a key kill for Ghaspar if he's able to defeat that ISU. That ISU is just dead. It's inching forwards, closer and closer. It's going to take him till about here to get into range. Ooh, we're looking for a kill here. The ISU just trundling forwards. Looks like the shot is going to get taken. And he does get the kill. So the ISU has gone down. And the other tanks won't be able to hold off any more Shermans if they come through. But has Ghaspar got any more Shermans in his A phase? He does have one a bit further south. In comes a Valentine 9. We are now actually into B phase. So Ghaspar will have more Shermans available to him. But Jack has got a sound defense on this southern side. It's going to be hard to push back into that southern defensive area. In the center, Ghaspar has started to exploit the lack of absolutely anything here from Jack. I mean, he did push forward Strelky units, capture this central area, but he has now lost them, and if this 52p goes down, he's probably going to lose this flag as well. So, oh, and the northern side is looking pretty bleak. Those Shermans have been key. But the ISU does come in now and should take care of the Shermans one by one. The OB-25 does go down, or was it, sorry, 52p does go down. Oh, this Sherman's getting incredibly close to these Strelky units. May just be out of range once it heads around the building. I think it's actually going to start firing southwards. But Ghaspar has the 14-10 now, thanks to the lack of anything in the center area. Jack has been hard on the south, and he's definitely gained a key area, but his center front line has suffered. IL-2M3 coming in, trying to hit those advancing Guardia DPs, but it's only going to keep them at bay for a very short while. Ooh, does get the kill. Does get the kill there in combination with the ISU 122, which is going to start firing at the Partizani as well. We do have an IL-4 coming in as well, trying to hit the infantry that have taken up positions in this compound. Not much AA on this southern side, but Ghaspar has been desperately trying to defend down here. He's lost a lot of units, so he doesn't have the supporting units that are key here. Will those Tanko Disanikis push back in for a surrender? I'm not quite sure. Up on the northern side, Gaspar's kind of taken the same area that Jack has, but Jack does have some units behind enemy lines right now. I don't think Ghaspar has any clue that they're there, but in comes a Resvedka with the bazooka. This could get a big kill onto the ISU if it's able to move down. We'll have to try and keep our eyes on that. The ISU comes into the center. The Strelky have gone down. Finally were discovered. But it is going to take shots at that Ognomachiki, and that Ognomachiki is not going to survive long against a 122mm cannon. They do lose sight of those Ognomachikis for now. Back up to this northern side. This ISU is just key for Jack because, ooh, look at that Sherman advancing across the open. I don't know whether he's going to come down into this position if he makes it, but interesting call not to keep them back into the light forest there. The ISU does start to line up shots against the infantry. I'm surprised that Resvedka isn't moving down towards that IS-2 right now. That is a perfect position for a bazooka. But he's actually between the infantry units. He could do this now, but if he gets discovered by the Aftermachiki should take out those Resvedka. It's going to be an interesting fight, the Valentine between the Emcher as well, because that Sherman can definitely take out the Valentine, but Jack is coming in with an IL-2M3 here. Should get the Sherman kill. Yeah, does get it. One clean rocket into the side of that Sherman. Gets the kill. The Resvedka are moving down south, but they're moving right into the clutches of the Strelky DP. I think that's... oh, it's a shame Ghaspar hasn't allocated this to take out that ISU. He really could. I think those Strelky are going to spot them. They're moving incredibly close. Are they going to get spotted, or are those Ridsved cars? No, they are. They are spotted. They are spotted, and the Strokey DP are going to take them out because those Ridsved cars, they aren't on attack move either. They're on a standard move order, so they're not going to stop. They are going to take more suppression while moving, although they do move past that Strokey DP. I don't know whether Jack noticed. The ISU has gone down, though. It must have been the ZIS-2 up here. While all that was happening, I missed the ZIS-2 coming in up on top of the hill. Does take out the ISU. So, 2 of the ISUs have gone down. There is another one in that central area. Ghaspar has the 1311. IL-2M3 coming in with those rocket strikes. Not enough to suppress both units. And it looks like the Cherno Pizzaniki are going to go down. Jack still has a very strong hold on the south, but he is 13-11 down in flags. Ooh, looks like he is pressing in to take down the central flag from those Partisani. I think the ISU in the centre ground is pretty key for him. If it wasn't for this ISU, the Sherman could deal a lot of damage. As shown by the suppression put down onto this Strokey DP. The Valentine 9s are now making their way in. They do have the HE shells on this tank and the 6-pounder. Very good gun. 115mm of penetration, but 12 rounds a minute, which is very fast for a tank. Very fast firing. The after Michiki are just going to walk straight up to the Guardia and easily pick up the kill. They won't pick up the surrender because this Partisani Comrati is here. But they should quickly pick up that kill. Another IL-4 flying down into the south. I'm surprised Ghaspar hasn't used that ZIS-2 gun, but I guess actually the ISU is in a nice position to ensure nothing on this kind of ridgeline can fire at it. Very nice position there from Jack. You know, because if he was out here doing the same kind of job, this tree line can fire on him. If he's further out, you know, the tree line can fire on him. So, knows his map, knows his stuff. So, 14-10 still to Ghaspar. And he definitely looks like he's got the upper hand right now. Big strike onto the Valentine does take that unit down. His southern flank is what's really hurting him though. I don't think he's going to try and take that back. I think he's just going to hope to contain it, make sure Jack doesn't push out. But actually, you know, one after Tokonrote, one after Michiki and one M5. He doesn't have a huge amount down here. The Sherman is starting to press forwards, but there is a Strelke with those AT grenades. May well pick up the kill. Oh, he's just out of range. Just out of range. Wow. That Sherman is able to sneak through, but is now behind enemy lines. I mean, we'll see. Oh, look, the Strelke is pushing back. Wants to try and pick up that Sherman kill. Either that or he's worried about what's coming forwards. I mean, it's only a 4-man Strelke unit. They are fully out of machine gun rounds and out of standard rifle rounds. They've only got those 385 PPSH rounds left. But I think he's chasing back that Sherman. He is going to reveal himself now, yeah. And they will go down. We have to Michiki maybe spot those MG42. Kind of surprised he didn't go in for that kill, because and after Michiki at that close range can get the kill against an MG42. So what do we have remaining? The IL-4 coming in, gonna try and hit those Strelke DPs. Jack has picked up the flag hold to 12-12, but this area could get picked up by Ghaspar fairly easily, especially if these Guardia DPs come in. The mortars seem to come back online now, start taking care of a lot of these AT guns. I think the ISU has pushed out of position, which has allowed them to fire on it. Ghaspar needs to get the kill with this ZIS-2. Can do so. Well, he is out of APCR shells, but the AP have 120mm of penetration. No, I think he is going to struggle. He'll have a chance to penetrate, but it won't be massively high. And Jack reversing back the ISU. Doesn't want to lose it. He is fairly stressed out now. Shoot a knockout from the Emcher. Oh, the Emcher has been hit as well, I think, by the AT rifle of the Strelky DP. Looks like Ghaspar is trying to push back into this southern position. 13-11 to Ghaspar. He is going to lose the north though. These Guardia DPs is just one man left in that squad. They are going to go down once the Aftermachiki get in. No, they aren't needed. The Cherno-Pizzaniki take them out. The IL-2 misses the Emcher in the middle. The Strelky DP are advancing forwards. We've got a ZSU M17. Oh, is that AT rifle going to take down this squad of Guardia DP? I guess he can use a machine gun at that range as well. Don't think those Strelky DP are going to last too long if Ghaspar 2-to-1s them with the Guardia DP. There is a second ISU 122 into the field in the centre, as well as 2 mortar units. The Sherman got all the way back here, but is stressed out by the IL-2 M3 HE rocket plane. Jack desperately looking for the surrender here. Will the Sherman be able to fall back quick enough? I think it will. There is a combat in here. These Emchers are pushing forwards and definitely putting in a dent into the front line. Ghaspar realises that Jack is struggling to destroy these Shermans with his infantry alone. But the Aftermachiki here is going to push forwards, hopefully get that AT grenade off. Yep, does get the kill, 12-12. Ghaspar does have a strong hold on this central area. I mean, look at Jack only has one ISU 122 in here. It is running low on ammunition. I mean, this is an interesting one to call. It looks like the southern side has suffered a lot. Well, Jack has been concentrating elsewhere. That Sherman is still behind enemy lines. This Aftermachiki desperate to take it out. I think it will get there before it is suppressed. Oh, this is tight. This is very tight. He's trying to reload. The grenade does go out. Does get the kill just as the Aftermachiki gets suppressed. The smoke comes down. It was a bit too late, but it wasn't needed in the end. The Aftermachiki do take out the Sherman way behind enemy lines, and that relieves a lot of pressure off Jack. He is now able to get reinforcements in once again. Ghaspar has used that time effectively though. He's got a lot of infantry into this southern forest. I think he's going to be able to take back that southern flag. But Jack has been advancing up north. A plane goes down in the northern side. Wasn't quite sure whose that was. It may have been Jack's though, because we do have an ZSU M17 down here. No AA on Jack's side, so I expect that was one of Jack's planes. Mortars being used to try and suppress that position. But is that Dushka going to get there in time to destroy the Ognamachiki? Yes, it will, surely. Surely that Ognamachiki will go down. No, the Ognamachiki makes it into the building. But will he be able to win out in the battle against the Guardia DP? I think he's going to need those Guardias to be suppressed before he moves in. The mortars are firing at it. Well, if that one-man Ognamachiki could pick up a surrender here, that would be pretty good micro. Oh, looks like a push is coming forwards into the centre from Jack. I'm still interested in whether that Ognamachiki will win out in that centre battle. The Guardia DP need to be suppressed if he's going to win it out. Looks like smoke is going to come down to try and obscure the sight of those Shermans, but I guess Jack could push an after Machiki in, try and get a close range kill. Actually, the centre's looking in a lot more trouble for Ghaspar now. And he has no AT weaponry down here to take care of these ISUs. He does have a ZIS-2 on its way. But it's going to put himself into danger before it even gets into position. I think the ISUs have been pretty key in this battle so far. So the Chino Pizzaniki's pushed forwards. I think one of the Shermans has gone down. No, it's up here. It's up here. Jack is very fond of pushing the infantry right behind buildings, so I think that's on the rules of engagement. Clearly is choosing not to have them in the buildings. They won't. He must have auto cover turned off so they don't automatically hop into the buildings. Although the Onmachiki is actually in the building there, so the Cherno Pizzaniki won't go in. But we've seen him before just sit units right behind. There's a lot coming back into this south for Jack, so he definitely wants to hold on to this position. It is still 12-12. We're 27 minutes into this game. I think there's been moments where both players have been up in this game and both players have been down in this game. I think Jack had a fantastic start in the southern side, but then Ghaspar came back with the northern and central push. I think Ghaspar has now focused on the south. He's pushed back slightly, but that's enabled Jack in the north and centre area to push back in as well. So there's been pushes forwards and backwards from both players. That after Machiki does move out into the open and get destroyed, the Guardia DP do hop forward, take care of the Ogna Machiki, probably with the help of the Emcha, do push into the building and will take out the Cherno Pizzaniki as well. So Ghaspar relieves a lot of pressure on that northern side, and there's not a lot here from Jack actually. This north could get completely surrounded. Ghaspar still has the Rezvedka behind enemy lines here. Looks like the IL-2Ms are going to be desperate for Jack to destroy the Shermans that are in this position. Let's follow the second one in. The first one goes in. Does not secure the kill. We have a ZSU firing. The second one does not get the kill either. So the ZSU and the Zenot 37mm were key to suppressing those airplanes, making them less accurate as they come into play. Sherman goes down in the center. Oh, look, the ISU pushing forwards as ZIS-2 has got in there. Loaded and wounded. Oh, misses the second shot. Needs to get the kill here. Really needs to get the kill. Misses the third shot. Does get the fourth. The IL-2M3 may well pick up the kill. Yes, it definitely does. Doesn't need a second one there. There is still an ISU in that center position. It's important Jack got the kill there. He didn't lose that one. Allow the AT gun to reposition and then lose the one a little bit further north. He's going to be running out of ISUs at this point, and they've been pretty key, especially in the center of this battlefield. Let's have a look. I think they're in the anti-tank tab. Yes, he's got 5 in total. I think he's probably used all of them. I don't think he's got another one left. If he has got another one left, he's probably only got 1. I think he will have used all of those ISUs. So, Ghaspar did relieve a lot of pressure in the south, but Jack has pushed back in here. We do have ZIS-2 pushing into the forest, but That's a bad position for that ZIS-2. May well somehow get a snapshot off against this Valentine, but in fact he should. No, that does have HE. It does have HE, but that's not a good position for that ZIS-2 gun. Ooh, the ZSU under threat as well from the anti-tank rifles of the Strelky DP. Oh, there is another set in there as well using their anti-tank rifles. Does hold them off for now, but they are going to get a killing blow at some point. They can penetrate that frontal armor. The Valentine does switch to move a bit more south. Jack spots the front line here being pushed by the ZIS-2. Those aftermachine are going to destroy that ZIS-2. I think that was a big mistake from Ghaspar. You know, I think maybe he found himself in a bad spot, but he should have pushed back into this kind of position. He has no front line there. There's no reason he should be pushing forward that ZIS-2. The aftermachine do spot it, and they're going to go down immediately. There we go. And a big loss. A ZIS-2 is a big loss. They are fantastic anti-tank guns. I mean, I know he has a lot of them in his deck, but they are fantastic guns. You don't want to lose them. So Jack finally picks up the 1311 after some time of being behind. Well, you know, this northern side is a little weak right now. Gaspar's exposing that. Mortars coming into the top. One thing I do note about Jack, he is using a hell of a lot of mortars. In fact, let's have a look at his artillery. He does have a lot more artillery as well, M30s. A lot of M30s. He has a lot of artillery in this deck, off map as well, which hasn't been used. Surprisingly, hasn't been used. But yeah, he really does love using those mortars, and I think they are fantastic. Oh, the Resvedka was spotted by the Strelky DPs and do get taken out. They may well have destroyed one of the transports here, which allowed the Strelky DP to spot them. But that threat is finally gone. But yeah, as I was saying, mortars, fantastic units, and Nilla uses them really well. But Nilla often, I think, looks like he plays a bit more aggressive than Jack is in this game, and doesn't always reload his mortars with supplies. But Jack is definitely happy to use those mortars at free will right now. IL-4 coming in. Does look to strike down onto the Chernopidze and Chernopidzeniki and Strelky DP. Ooh, 2 ZIS-2s against 1 ISU. That ISU is bound to go down. Oh, Jack retreating that. Good call. Those ZIS-2s are going to now be in a very nice position. Yeah, I would expect, yeah, the mortars to start firing on that. There's no way Jack can push forward into that position once more unless those ZIS-2 guns go down. Nice use of the supply truck to fix up that transmission damaged ISU. Ghaspar has successfully pushed back in the north though, and Jack still looks kind of weak up here, up in that northern position. Ghaspar has the 1311 once again. We'll win the game in 18 minutes time if things stay as they are. He's successfully pushed back once again into the south, but Jack is able to get reinforcements in there. This is quite a tight game. I think this is going to come down to the depth of deck, honestly. I think both players are perhaps engaging fairly equally right now. I think a lot of Shermans have gone down though. The mortar fire is now coming in on those ZIS-2 guns. I think Ghaspar has been splitting them up, pushing them a bit further apart. Good call. IL-2M3. And these IL-2s, difficult to shoot down. They are very resilient. Very good resilience. So they are or Jack is able to constantly bring them in. I think the ZSU has gone down somewhere. I think it was in this central forest last I saw. Ooh, looks like we've got a little Valentine push going on. 3 against 1 Sherman. The Valentine should win this fairly easily. Don't know whether Ghaspar's spotted that yet. Ooh, does take down a unit of infantry there. The Valentine's taking out the Sherman's going to be key. If they can take him out, I think Jack can push forwards once again. It's forwards and... oh, he's not even going for it. The IL-2s are coming in. Doesn't pick up the kill. Does get the engine stall. And the Valentine should easily finish him off. Oh, one of them firing south. You need to allocate them to fire on the Sherman. They're firing south. Onto the infantry down here. It's going to give that Sherman chance, possibly chance to recover. I think Jack is... oh, the Sherman, at least the engine's back on. It's falling back. That Sherman might survive, and it had no right to survive at that point. Okay, the Valentines are now pushing forwards. Jack has ordered them onto an attack move. Oh, one of them goes down. Oh, and he's backing off. He doesn't want to take the engagement. Wow, I think this is a mistake. I think he's backing that off so he can bring the other one in. Unless he's going for another airstrike. Looks like he is. He's going to try and stress that unit out. It does just get the kill with that rocket strike. Wow, I think Jack made that way more difficult than he needed to. Okay, let's look back. Jack has recovered the southwards again from Ghaspar. He's back and forth on this southern side. So Jack has the 13-11, 25 minutes he's going to need to win this game. We are just under 40 minutes in, so that will take us to an hour. I think this game is going to be about who has that late game deck, who has traded best over the course of the entirety of this game. It's hard to call at this point. Another one of the Valentines has gone down, I think, to this Sherman. Oh, looks like another rocket strike coming in. Oh, but the Valentine goes down before that rocket strike came in. And the bombs are wasted by the Lag 3. Oh no, they were aimed onto the infantry. I thought they were aimed onto the Valentine at first. More mortars being thrown into this top side. I think Jack has really effectively used those mortars. That might be key in getting the infantry advantage, you know, killing more of the infantry numbers than your enemy kills yours. Bombing run coming into the north does pin down those Strelkirs. Big engagement on that northern side going on at the moment. Who is going to win it out? Looks like Jack needs to move back his supply truck. He is doing just that. The SD2 guns are still in here, although both of them out of APCR ammunition. They're going to be at 1,500 meter range. I don't think that's close enough to get the kill with their standard AP shots. They're going to have a chance to penetrate, but it's going to be fairly low. ZIS-3 is coming in here. I think that's to help out against the Shermans, but it also provides, you know, fire support onto the ZIS-2 guns. They do have HE shells. IL-2 attack onto the Sherman in the north does take that one out. I noticed Jack is doubling up his IL-2s. Oh, and he's completely gained control of this southern side. We do have a Valentine that's pushing forwards against the After Machiki. I mean, Valentine's going to have to get a nice first shot off if it's going to... No, doesn't even get a chance. Yeah. So I thought it might get a chance for at least one shot from its tank gun, but did not get a chance. I think the number of tank kills that Jack's got with his After Machikis is actually very good. ZIS-2 should take out the Valentine, especially with the Sherman. Crew panic. Oh, it is falling back. Just trying to see whether there's a line of sight from this ridgeline down onto this kind of area, because it looked like it was from where the Valentine was sat. Interesting, interesting. Back up to the north. Mortars still being used. And Ghaspar's brought no artillery in whatsoever. He's not tried to counter battery those mortars at all. They've got to be taking their toll on his infantry numbers. More strikes coming in. I think his AA piece is completely out of ammunition. $15.9 for Jack now. Picking up these two central flanks that Ghaspar held for quite a long while. It looks like he's actually going to push into the center here. Could pick up another flag. And obviously holds the south massively. I think Gaspar's lost a hell of a lot of units fighting over that southern position from the very start of this game. Oh, in come though M30, 122 mils now. And Jack is in a confident position that he wants to bring in those howitzers. Can Ghaspar come back from this? He's got to be low on numbers now in his deck. 42 minutes into this game. I feel like it's looking tough for him. IL-4 heading in. Looks like it's going to try and hit these Chernopidzanikis and Strokers. Jack tries to split them up. Good micro. Does pin them both down, but doesn't get the kill. Is he going to use these M30s as like direct, almost like anti-tank gun pieces and infantry guns? He may well do that. I mean, I think it looks like it's what it's going to do with this southern one. He's going to have it positioned here, firing all the way down the reinforcement road. Look at this one man after Machiki, caught between all of the squads, can't move, otherwise risks his life. Just hoping that the rest of his unit somehow can destroy Jack's forces, allow him to kind of retreat. Another IL-4 strike coming in on the Strokey DP. Definitely looks like Jack has an upper hand here. 7 minutes left on the clock. Another supply truck coming in for those mortars. He has been very hot on his mortar use throughout this game. All these Ognamachikis in the centre look in trouble. Can the Shermans get there in time to relieve some pressure? I'm not sure they will. I don't think a one-man squad is going to be able to take out those 9 Chernopidzanikis. Look like an air strike. An air attack up into the north. The Sherman survives for now. It is forced back. May well surrender. And Jack pressing forwards. In the north, he has a 15-9, but he's not happy with that. Oh, the bombing strike comes in, and what is going to happen here? Who's going to surrender to who? I think the Sherman's going to surrender to this Strokey DP. Yep, it does, and Jack's units survive. Yep. For a moment I was wondering whether Jack's units would fall back into that Sherman and end up surrendering, but no, of course not. Wow, look at this little push here with PTRS rifles and one Ognamachiki squad. Is Jack low on infantry now? It's just interesting he's used his PTRS rifles to here on this engagement. Covering them with smoke. The Sherman is now moving forwards. But we do have a ZIS-3 back here. There is the M30 as well. That can definitely pick up a kill. It is suppressed at the moment though. I think Ghaspar is desperately pushing his Shermans forwards. They have been giving him quite a big advantage throughout this game, but... Oh, look at this M30. It's going to take a very close range shot of that Sherman, surely. Yeah, and does pick up the kill. Big kill with that M30. Yeah, look at the position. I've been observing this on a lot of streams lately. He's putting it right here. So you can fire on any reinforcements coming down here. But it also has this bit here covered. So any reinforcements going into the center ground or into the center trees, forest area, ridgeline, they can all get fired upon from this position. So very advantageous position to get an AT gun or a heavy howitzer into place. So Cherno Pizzaniki versus Ghaspar DP. The Ghaspar DP should definitely win that. Ghaspar has managed to rush in reinforcements, and with that I think he may well recover a flag here, but 15-9 still to Jack. 4 minutes left on the clock. There is still dribs and drabs of infantry coming in. 4. Well, he's not gonna... For a moment I thought he was going to drop the bombs on those Cherno Pizzaniki, but I think that would have been too close. Wow, those Gladiators are heavily suppressed. I don't know what's been hitting them, but if they get suppressed, the Cherno Pizzaniki might pick up a surrender here. This is incredibly tight. Looks like an air rocket strike coming in. Ooh, onto the Gladiators. Oh, those Cherno Pizzaniki's going to survive. They are going to now go down. Wow, that was incredibly tight. And Ghaspar will recover a flag here, brings it back to a 14-10. 6 minutes 30 left on the clock. Can he pull this back? No artillery. Has he had any artillery in his deck? I have to check. He has mortars. I'm very surprised he's brought no mortars in. This is Ghaspar to kind of at least counter battery the enemy's mortars. He does have the off map as well, but I've not seen those off maps. I mean, down here in the south would be a perfect place for him to off map. I'm really surprised we've not seen those off maps come out. No off maps from either side actually. They both got them in their deck, but neither side has really brought them out. I wonder if they've just forgotten. There is an ISU up on that northern side. I think that's a new ISU. I think that's the last ISU Jack has in his deck. So he does have 2 on the field right now, and they're particularly difficult for Ghaspar to get rid of. We do see a ZIS-2 come up into the northern side, I think, to try and take down the ISU. May well go down before it can get into position. 15-9 for Jack. I think he's recovered a flag somewhere. Obviously, possibly here on this compound. All those Shermans are being hit. They do survive for now. And Ghaspar concentrating on the ZIS-3 guns up on this northern side. I mean, this southern side looks so strong for Ghaspar though. There's no real infantry down here. Another unit kind of makes its way in, but I think if Jack kind of pushed north with a lot of his force, he would, you know, he would take the position. It's all about Shermans right now for Ghaspar. If Jack can take out the Shermans, there's no doubt he can take that entire position. I mean, Ghaspar looks just so short on the ground. He still has some infantry kind of coming in, but he looks so short on the ground. Jack looks like he's destroyed so much stuff. Must have been trading very well in the last 20 minutes of this game. We are now up to 50 minutes. Wow, there's less than a minute on the clock. I missed that. There is less than a minute on the clock. I mean, surely there's no way back for Ghaspar. He may pick up this flag here, gives himself, you know, a minute 20, but it's not enough. He's going to have to push into another flag. I mean, where is that flag going to be? He cannot make this back. There's no way back for Ghaspar right now. Jack is going to win the game. There's 1 minute left on the clock. I just cannot see Ghaspar coming back. I think Jack is definitely going to pick up this first game, and it's been a back and forth game. I definitely don't think Jack was, until the last 20 minutes of this game, I definitely don't think Jack was in like pole position. I think there were times when Ghaspar was looking very strong. I mean, he's taken half the timer down of Jack, so Ghaspar had a big lead throughout this game, but I think the last 20 minutes have been key for Jack. I think Ghaspar was running out of units. I think Jack obviously managed to sustain his units more than Ghaspar and does pick up the victory. So 51 minutes 38 seconds. Congratulations, Jack. 5,800 kills to 4,400 losses. Commiserations, Ghaspar. Jack picks up the first game in this best of 3 on the Steel Division 2 League Season 2 Division 2 playoff semi-finals. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. If you did, remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Let's take a look at the kills for Jack. I'm interested. Ooh, ISU 122 does pick up a number of kills. I'm interested most about the mortars. I mean, there was some that came in from the start. I wonder whether it's more suppression damage that they did more than out and out kills. IL2M3, I think that's the rocket variant. Another ISU, only getting the Emcher kill though. Oh, another ISU down here. The ISUs were really difficult for Ghaspar to destroy. They really were. I mean, those IS-2 guns should have been good enough, but it's only when you've got the APCR shells. I think Jack used them very well by keeping them at long distance throughout the entirety of that game. The ones that he did take up very close to the enemy, he lost. The ones that he kept at long distance, they survived throughout the whole game. Here's the first mortar kill. Does pick up the Partizani MG42. Another ISU. Just showed the toll that those ISUs took on Ghaspar. So yeah, I think the mortars obviously just did damage over time, allowing his infantry units to pick off the enemy's infantry. And this was the final ISU, picking up the 2 Shermans. Let's have a look at the kills for Ghaspar, and I'm expecting the Shermans actually trade fairly well. I think outside the ISU, Ghaspar had the advantage with the Shermans. But then I'm not quite sure. Well, we'll have a look here. Yeah, Emcher picking off a lot of M5s. As you'd expect, it's the inferior tank of the 2. Emcher here does pick up that. No, it's the Guardia Panzerschreck, sorry. I thought it was the Emcher that got that ISU kill, but it's the Guardia Panzerschreck. Did pick up the M3 Komrotti. Another Emcher down here. Showed the importance of killing those Emchers from Jack's point of view. Oh, there's Vedka down here. I think this was the one that snuck behind enemy lines up on the north. Did pick off 2 Valentine 9s and 1 Strelky DP unit. Also did get the off-map kill. So there was an off-map that came in up onto that northern side, but it was immediately killed. Don't even know whether it got a use. Okay, there we have it. Like I say, congratulations Jack, commiserations Ghaspar. Make sure you don't miss the second match of this best of 3. Will Jack make it 2 out of 2 and go through to the finals to face off against Sahandor, or will Ghaspar come back equal the matchup and take it into a decider? You can only find out by watching the next cast. Make sure you subscribe, do not miss it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I am Angry Birds. I will see you next time.